What is up, guys? Beancrew49 here. We're back on the Desolation map, and as you can tell, we're back at the mall. Before I get into what we're doing today, I want to thank you guys for all the support that you gave me on this weekend's videos. We did a world tour of WT Delta's map, and I was blown away. I'm assuming you guys were too. What an incredible world. Thank you, WT Delta, for letting me tour it. And then yesterday we had a brand new season of Desolation Survival Stories. Oh man, I had a lot of fun making that video, and I hope you guys are amped up for this season because it's going to be a crazy one. I forgot who gave me the idea for this episode, but I'm going to go back and figure it out because one of you suggested it, and it was a great idea. If it was you, put it in the comments. That'll be easier. That'll be easier. I know one of you suggested it in the comments, and I'm going to give you credit. I'm going to go look for it. Alright, so today we're working on some Macy's interiors. Macy's, the department store everyone knows and loves. This mall is coming along very quickly. I'm working pretty hard on it, pretty hard. I'm also getting ready for episode 200, so I can't go like super hard in the paint, but I'm trying. So I'm going to do some interior work for you today, and it's a department store, so I'm going to do the first floor today. I'm not going to do all of it, no way. I'm not even going to do a fraction of it. I'm going to do as much as I can in the time we have today. I'm in fast forward motion because it is Monday, and you know Mondays is question of the week, fast forward day. So I'll get to that question in a moment, but downstairs is the women's section. So I'm going to put purses, I'm going to put shoes, I'm going to put dresses, perfumes, everything for the women, you know what I mean? And then upstairs will be like the home and then the men. The men's section is like a tiny little thing. So most of this building, most of this shop will be dedicated to the females because they need attention, okay guys? They deserve attention is what I should say. Females are beautiful creatures that are fragile and delicate yet strong and I don't know. Anyway, what am I talking about? Anyway, so what I want to do here is make a pathway for people to walk on. You know how in malls, in these department stores, the floor is kind of different on the walkways, and then you know when you go into the carpeted section, that's where they keep all the stuff you can buy. I'm just trying to do my best here. I don't go into malls a lot, okay? I hardly ever go into a mall if I can avoid it, and I really don't go into Macy's if I can avoid that. Dude, what is it? I can't think of a single thing I would want to buy in Macy's. Not racking my brain. I got nothing. Maybe a belt? No, I'll go to Target for a belt because I don't want to pay $60. There's nothing I want there. Nothing. If I want a suit, I'll go to like Nordstrom Rack. That's where I go for suits. You guys know about Nordstrom Rack? That's where I buy all my suits. Any like fancy clothes I need, I go to the Nordstrom Rack. I don't know if you guys have that in your area, but Nordstrom's is like a department store that's really high end. Like more high end than Macy's, that's for sure. They got really expensive designer stuff. But you know how people who buy expensive clothing, they don't want last year's fashions, or they don't even want last season's fashions. That's how picky they are. So once the season's over, the Nordstrom sends all of their stuff to the Nordstrom Rack, which is sort of like a what do you call it? Oh, there's a word for it. But it's like a warehouse store, sort of like the Nike store has its bigger warehouse store for all the older stuff. An outlet store. I guess you can call it an outlet. Okay, it's an outlet. How about that? Anyway, they have last season's fashions for like a third of the price. I'm not even joking. That's how crazy people are with fashion. I'm using air quotes because fashion is nothing more than you wanting to look like all the other monkeys. Basically, don't try to look like the other monkeys, guys. Make yourself stand apart. Be you. You know how I hate fashion. I really do. I hate fashion with a passion. And that rhymes, and I know it does. I hate fashion. I want to be me. I want to be unique. I want to be different. I do not want to be like all the other tuxedo monkeys. Anyway, let's get to the creative question of the week, because it is Monday, and I know you guys are waiting for it. But before I say that, this is the shoe section. I'll say that right now. This is the shoe section. And this is not like a Nike shoe section. This is the women's shoe section where they got stilettos. You'll see. All right. So the creative question of the week comes from Van Epeep. I believe this is Omara on Xbox Live. I've answered one of his questions before, but he keeps coming with good questions, so I'm going to answer this one. He says, what is the worst 4J glitch in your opinion? Oh, man. I know what you're thinking, guys. I know what you're thinking. You think that this is going to be a ranting video again, just like I ranted about Call of Duty. I'm not going to rant today. I'm just going to talk about the glitches and how they affected me and which one was the worst. Which one was the worst? Alright, let's see here. And this is a timely question, too. A lot of these creative questions of the week, I will answer them if they're timely. Like I was asked about Black Ops 3 when the Black Ops 3 beta came out. He's asking me about glitches when there's a game-breaking glitch out right now. So if you really want to get your question answered on Creative Question of the Week, please make sure it's timely. Timely questions have a good chance of getting answered. Please leave your creative questions of the week in the comment section and get creative with it because that's what it is. Okay? So the game-breaking glitches. What is the worst 4J glitch? So I brainstormed, I made a list of glitches that really affected me in negative ways. I'm going to talk about the glitches that affect me. Now there's been a lot of like survival glitches while I play creative, or creative glitches while I was playing survival that I didn't really care about. But the first major glitch was way back in the day. This was probably the first or second update we got. And that was the biome shifts. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was one of the worst. It almost broke me, guys. It almost broke me. And it happened over and over and over again. It happened like 3 or 4 times. But if you don't know what that is, it's basically the game existed. And then 4J's like, oh, we're going to add biomes, a new biome. And in order to do that, in order to make old maps have new biomes, current biomes had to shift around. So a lot of people, who were building in the snow suddenly had desert. A lot of people who were building in the jungle had desert or snow, or it just messed everything up. And it was a huge problem for me. Huge problem. Because in my very first map, I thought that I was going to stick with that map forever. I was just going to keep building and building and building till the entire map was covered, and then I'd probably start a new map maybe. But I wanted to cover the entire map! I wanted to! And I was going to build the cities and massive things. And this was in survival mode, by the way. And we got a new update, and I was so happy. There's new stuff in the game. But the city I was working on, which was on a beach, was now covered in snow. My beach chalet was covered in snow. Oh man, it was like, oh man, what do I do? Like, what do I do? Like, everything I intended was completely ruined. So, because of that glitch, it wasn't even a glitch, it was intended. Glitches sort of like are unintentional. It was not a glitch, but it was a byproduct of what 4J had done. Okay? And I'm not complaining either. I know that was the only way to do it, most likely. And I know that I wanted free stuff, so I put up with it. But what I had to do was I had to start a new world. A whole new world. I didn't want to start a new world. But I did. And I went to town. I played this new world for I don't know how long. It's a couple years. Well, it was about a year before another update came, and we got jungle biomes, and then my city, which was even larger than the first city, like 3 times larger, maybe 5 times larger. 5 times larger than the first city that I quit because of biome shifts. The biomes got shifted. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, it happened again. It wasn't as severe as the first time. So part of my city became desert, and all the grass was dead. But it was a smaller section, and it was the industrial section, so I kind of lived with it. I didn't like it, but I had to live with it, and so I did. And, it was bad. It was bad. But what can you do? That's the price we've got to pay to get free stuff, then I'll pay it. I don't care what the cost. I do love these free updates. They're pretty cool. So the biome shifts were pretty bad. I lived with the second one. The first one was crippling. Alright, so I'm playing on my second map. I'm playing for about 2 years on the same map. I'm building in one area. It's called Beanburg. It was a massive city centered around like one city center, and I just built around it and made it bigger and bigger and bigger. And there was a huge problem, and that was that sorry, I got a phone call there. The huge problem was that there was crippling lag. Whenever I went near my city center, whenever I went anywhere near it, my frame rate would drop to almost nothing. I couldn't play the game. In the city center, where I was doing most of my traveling, where I was spending most of my time. And I think I know what it was. And by crippling lag, I don't mean like it wasn't fun to play. Like, I couldn't play. and I was hosting a server for hundreds of people. And it was crippling. And I think I know why it was happening. Part of the reason, at least, was because of signs. Back in the day, signs didn't... back in the day, 4J wanted to keep this game as kid-friendly as they possibly could. So signs, before signs would appear, they would be sent to some service which checked it for foul language and then would send it back. That, of course, required bandwidth. I had so many signs that every time I stepped into a new chunk, all the signs had to be sent somewhere where they would check it for vulgarity, and then they would send it back, and that basically killed my game. It was the dumbest implementation of any kind of child protection I've ever seen. It caused my game to just be unplayable. That was a bad one. Eventually they fixed it, but it wasn't as bad as probably the worst glitch. We'll see. I don't know. I'll go through all the glitches and we'll see. On Beanberg, on the same map, near the end, I had all sorts of PvP games, tons of PvP games. Our recreation time was centered around PvP games. There was a glitch where every time I died, the server host, if I died, the entire game froze and crashed. What? Every time I died, the entire game froze and crashed, and we couldn't play PvP anymore. At least I couldn't. And if I'm not going to play PvP, no one's going to play. Okay, that's how I roll. So basically, this 2.5-year project, of which I'd spent a lot of my time, of which a lot of people played on this map, a lot. It was a community server. I had to shut it down because of that glitch. Beanberg, so many people were upset and distraught and sad, including me. Chief among them was me. But I had to do it. If we can't play PvP, then what's the point? So that was a horrible one. I had to stop playing Beanberg, and that's what happens. Then there was the more recent one on Desolation, where if 2 people entered the game, then the game would freeze. What the heck? Game break. That glitch, or whatever it was, that bug, lasted for so long. So much time. Oh, it sucked. We couldn't play PvP for so long. I couldn't believe it. If someone joined your game, my game would freeze. What kind of sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense. And then there was an issue where people couldn't join the game at all if another person was trying to join. And now we've got this current glitch with the frame rate drop. I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Which one was the worst? I think the game freeze when host dies, for me, was the worst because it ended Beanberg. And that was such a sad day. I didn't, not many other people were experiencing the problem, so I couldn't explain to 4J, what was happening. All I knew is that when I died, the entire game would freeze. I don't think a lot of people experienced it, so 4J had no idea. And I don't know what was causing it. But, I think that might have been the worst for me, because it ended Beanberg. I mean, all these other ones are just stop PvP, basically, or they forced me to, think outside the box and try something differently. But like I said, guys, I'm not ranting. Do you know why? Because all of these bugs forced me into something new. Pretty much. They forced me to get out of my comfort zone and do something differently. And good always comes from that. Always comes from that. And good did come from that. I had to end Beanberg, but you know what? We started Desolation. I had to end my first map, but we started Beanberg. All these things were terrible. They forced me into doing something I didn't want to do. But little did I know that what I didn't want to do was the thing I should have done in the first place. Right? So, I want to thank you, 4J, right now, for giving us all these free updates. I understand that bugs come with free stuff. I understand that you're tweaking your game, and things are going to happen as a result of that. I understand. I only ask that with these more severe bugs, you do everything you can to fix the bug. I don't like when you guys throw in bug fixes with updates. Things like the one we're experiencing now. I feel bad for Stampy. His livelihood is on making videos, and his videos are coming out real choppy. And, I mean, the people are not going to not watch, but it's not good. That's his livelihood. That's his job. So I feel bad for people like that who depend on this. So 4J, please don't bundle it in with the next update. Can we please get a rush update now? We need it now because it's bad. Anyway, thank you guys for watching this. Thank you 4J for all your your bug fixes. You know, I know you make the bugs, but you also fix the bugs. So thank you for that. Thank you guys for watching. This has been a Creative Question of the Week video. Leave your creative questions in the comment section. Happy Minecrafting. Peace.